In today's video, we're going to be talking about the return to senders process. And this process is when you've received a return and you need to then send it back to who sent it to you. So for an example of a reason as to why you may do that is, let's say someone sends you a restock or a warranty, you receive it back, and then you evaluate it and it's an invalid return. And then the customer says, well, send it back to me if you're not going to keep it. This would be a process to facilitate the shipment of that item back to the customer. And this is a process that you can use for corrections as well. Or let's say maybe they sent you something on exchange and same thing. Maybe that exchange is not acceptable. We need to send it back to the customer, or we received it in error and now we have to send it back to the customer. So for example, I have an exchange here that I have received, and maybe this one was actually a restock, or I need to send it back to the customer for whatever reason. I can go in here and click on details and go to my return to sender tab. And I can select on this item that we've received. This is the serial number I received. And I'm going to create a new shipping note to process this back to the sender. So we're going to say we're going to send this back FedEx. Put in our date, validate everything looks correct, and click save. Then I can go over to my shipping notes here. This will also show up in my outbound tab, and I can go ahead and process this shipping note. When I go to process this shipping note, I'm going to do the normal pick, pack, ship process, and I'm going to go in here and say that I'm going to put this to my outbound bin location. This is the item that I need to send back. This is the correct inventory. And then I'm going to process the shipping note. Say this was in shipping, get our tracking number, and click save. Now what this does is it's actually going to also, if I go to my related items, I can see that inventory 157's now returned to sender. So it's no longer in inventory because we have removed it from inventory, and it's now been returned to sender. Now that I've sent this back, if I needed to claim restock or warranty instead of exchange, I could also go back to the original order and do a new return if needed. Otherwise, if it's the end of the process and we're just not accepting it, then I could go close my return item out and I would be complete as far as my process. This is just one tool in the Legendary Supply Chain application to facilitate sending those items back to the customer after they've sent you something that needs to be returned to them. Thank you for watching.